Hello and welcome to VOA's Red Carpet. My name is Jackson Vunganyi. Thank you so much for joining us today. On this episode of Red Carpet, we have a post-apartheid play on tour in South Africa, a Nigerian artist hammering portraits out of nails, and an Afghan refugee fights to return to professional boxing. Let's get on with the show. And let's begin the show with some highlights of the latest entertainment news from around the world. The BET Awards were held over the weekend at the Microsoft Theater in Los Angeles. Sean Diddy Combs channeled the spirit of Reverend Martin Luther King Jr. while accepting the Lifetime Achievement Award, BET Awards' highest honor. He was presented the award by Babyface and Ye, formerly known as Kanye West, who called Combs his favorite artist growing up. Doja Cat, Drake, and Ari Lennox entered the awards with the most nominations, but came away with no trophies. Silk Sonic, formed by Bruno Mars and Anderson .Paak, won 2 awards, including Album of the Year for their project An Evening with Silk Sonic. Still in music, rapper Kendrick Lamar closed this year's Glastonbury Festival with a powerful headline set that saw him chant "Godspeed for women's rights" as fake blood poured down his face from a crown of thorns. Lamar ended his new song Savior by chanting "They judge you, they judge Christ, Godspeed for women's rights" before dropping his microphone and walking off the stage at the music festival on Sunday. The dramatic protest came 2 days after the US Supreme Court's decision to strip away women's constitutional protection for abortion. The Pulitzer Prize-winning rapper was among big names including Diana Ross, Billie Eilish, Paul McCartney, and Bruce Springsteen to feature at the festival in southwest England, which welcomed back 200,000 music fans for the first time since 2019 due to the coronavirus pandemic. And in some sports news, Japanese tennis player Naomi Osaka is launching a new media company in partnership with 4-time NBA champion LeBron James, aimed at telling stories that cross cultural barriers. The former world #1 announced last week the production company called Hanakuma will produce scripted and non-fiction content, starting with a New York Times documentary about Patsy Mink, the first woman of color elected to US Congress. Siobhan Lenoir, who most recently led Unscripted Advice Media and before that worked at Disney and MGM, will be head of the development for Hanakuma. And in more sports news, Lewis Hamilton ranked 5th on this year's Sunday Times 2022 giving list, proving yet again that he is generous to charitable causes. The F1 world champion leads the sporting world in donations with a staggering £20 million in just the last few months, according to data from the Charities Aid Foundation. You're watching Red Carpet on the Voice of America. Now let's go to South Africa, where famed actor and playwright John Carney's play about a terminally ill white patient and his black caregiver is on tour in the country, having been put on hold by the coronavirus pandemic. Here is more.
I've come to look after you.
When South African nursing sister Lunga Kunene is sent by his agency to the home of a terminally ill patient, he is mistaken for a robber.
Where did you steal that?
That's the start of the critically acclaimed play Kunene and the King, now on a nationwide tour on its home soil.
No, sir. It's gone. It's all gone.
The patient, Jack Morris, has not interacted with black people in post-apartheid South Africa and views them with suspicion.
Also Africans. You tell
It's that theme, the silent conversations we have, that famed actor and playwright John Carney wanted to explore.
Whereby, if you appoint a new black person to be the manager of the department, or you appoint a woman for that matter to be the manager of the department, the staff immediately acts differently because it's a woman, or because it's a black person, or because it's a white person. It is those kind of undertones that I'm dealing with, and audiences see themselves and they learn to be cautious sometimes in their own lives.
The play premiered at the Royal Shakespeare Theatre in London in 2019, but its run had to be put on hold due to the global health crisis.
Julius Caesar. I like that play.
And it's through a love of Shakespeare that the play's 2 characters connect. Kunene studied Julius Caesar at school in the Xhosa language.
ukuba ndilulame ndithambe kwezi zikrelemnqa.
Morris, a classical actor, had been offered the role of King Lear before being diagnosed with cancer.
Was that friends, Romans, and countrymen?
Michael Richard plays Jack Morris.
Lear, through his journey and his madness, but he learns humanity. He learns something in his journey, and in this play, I learn to discover this black man who's come into my house, who has to look after me, and that I'm only thinking of as a carer. And then I realize as we go on, this is a human being. This man has stories. This man has a life that needs to be understood, and I need to listen.
No, why are you here?
Carney's 1972 play Sizwe Banzi is Dead, about the apartheid government's restrictive past laws, earned him international acclaim and a Tony Award. He went on to star in various TV roles and movies, including Disney's Lion King and Marvel's Black Panther.
Welcome to my humble abode, Mr. Morris.
But he says nothing compares with his first love, the theatre.
It's immediate, it's urgent, there's no second take, and their response, you can feel it now. And if you are working very hard, you can feel how the audience is willing you forward. Tell me. And in the end, when they do that standing ovation, it just says to me, that's why I'm an actor. That's why I'm a storyteller.
And let's go to West Africa. In Nigeria for some art news, Nigerian artist Odunayo Fapohunda creates realistic portraits of people using a hammer and nails. A piece can take up to 3 months and over 50,000 nails. Let's take a look.
My name is Odunayo Fapohunda. I'm 27 years old. I'm a nail artist from Osun State, Nigeria. I saw somebody back then in 2015 using nail to make art. I love it and I take my time to learn it, and today I can call myself a professional. We have to be very, very technical, because if there's any mistake, it requires us to damage the board, and it won't be nice enough. It will be like a waste of money and waste of time. When people get to see my work, they feel wowed. Like, this is different, this is unique, they actually can't really believe something of such exists. Because barely looking at it on phone, they used to see it like pencil work.
And now to some music news. Musician Brent Morgan makes a living doing what he loves, which isn't always easy in his field. VOA's Eileen Lee reports from Huntsville, Alabama on how he has succeeded.
All because I care too much.
The stereotypical dream for a musician is you move to Nashville, you walk into a label, you sit in the lobby, you sing your amazing song, they're like, we want to sign you, and they pull you up. Kind of like Taylor Swift did, where they would go to every single label every week with her dad. It's just not true. Moving to Nashville just triples your cost of living, and you play in the bars downtown for tips only. I used to play the bar scene, I used to play gigs all the time.
Afraid my paper skin has started wearing thin. It isn't fair, I care too much.
And then I realized I could play in my shorts at home on a live stream and make, 5 times as much money and have way more fun interacting with way more people. You have to build a fan base online, and they will push you to success with your music. Hey, my name's Brent Morgan. I'm 33 years old, and I write and produce music for a living, and this is my ordinary life. So this is my studio. I have 2 different portions, as you can see. Right here is where I do my live streaming every single day. As you can see, I got my SM7 mic rigged up. I got my Sony camera. I'm here most of my time every single day. I sit in this chair probably like 4 to 5 hours a day at least. And then if you come over here, this is where I do all of my writing and recording. I got an interest in music when I was in 11th grade. My whole life before that was focused on sports. I had scholarships lined up for baseball, but I also joined a band with my friends I started realizing that I could sing and I could play by ear. So I started teaching myself piano and guitar and just performing for some friends here and there. And then I got really interested and I went to college for music and started giving lessons. I started realizing my life was surrounded by music, so I really wanted to pursue it. I even remember when I was about to propose to my wife, I had to go talk to her parents and say, I'm going to do music for a living, and it was terrifying. So I live in Madison, Alabama. My whole family lives here. My mom, my dad, my sisters, we're all within 5 minutes of each other. So living in Alabama kind of frees up space for me financially. The house we live in now, it has 5 bedrooms and 5 bathrooms. To get something like that anywhere else in the world, like LA or New York, would be astronomically expensive. But it's affordable here in Alabama, and it gave me room to have a nice backyard for my dogs, to have room for a studio, and I own, so I'm not renting. I actually can, pay this house off and it's mine.
To everything America, American stories, American life, that's +1.
And we close the show with some sports news. Many Afghans now living as refugees in Pakistan have left their previous lives behind. Others have created new ones that are made more difficult by their refugee status. For VOA, Muska Safi spoke to an Afghan boxer in Peshawar, Pakistan in a report narrated by Nazrana Yusufzai.
22-year-old Afghan boxer Mohammad Salim begins his day selling vegetables in Pakistan's northern city of Peshawar. But that's not what he's meant to do. Salim is a professional boxer who has competed in 9 international competitions in Pakistan. But for now, his dream of boxing professionally is taking a back seat to his need to support his family.
For one, I don't have a place. I have a vegetable cart. I hardly make $5 to $8 a day, which is not enough for my family expenses. I'm also the sole breadwinner. My interest is in boxing, but I'm forced to work for survival.
Salim, who hails from the eastern province of Nangarhar in Afghanistan, has been living as a refugee in Pakistan for years. He began boxing in Pakistan, where he has won 3 titles. But to get any further, he needs a sponsor.
I've participated in 9 international contests. This one is the title of Punjab. This one is Peshawar's title, and the third one is All Pakistan title. I am top in the international fights in my weight class in Afghanistan, but we need to be sponsored. If we are not sponsored because of poverty, we are going to be left behind.
Salim's coach Javed Rafiqi wants him to compete outside Pakistan, but without sponsorship, they cannot travel.
No one believes me when I tell them. These are the invitations from Kazakhstan that I applied to.
Pakistani officials say that they are aware of the problems Afghan refugees face and that they are committed to help.
We are focusing on it. You'll see in the near future that their participation in sports and educational activities will be equal to those of Pakistani youth.
But that doesn't help Salim, whose dreams of hitting the big-time boxing tour remain, for now, on the ropes. For Muska Safi in Peshawar, Pakistan, this is Nazrana Yusufzai, VOA News.
And that's it for this episode of VOA's Red Carpet. My name is Jackson Vunganyi. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. For more entertainment news, check us out at voaafrica.com. We are also on Facebook, Instagram, and on YouTube. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Until next time, goodbye, everyone.